This large valley, Jackson Hole, is surrounded by mountains on all four sides. And it used to be called Jackson's Big Hole, but that got made fun of too much, so they cut it down to Jackson Hole. I found out at a pretty early age that I find myself not just happiest in the outdoors, but happiest in the Tetons. So I picked a career that would get me outside every day. Whoa, yeah. And this is where I want to be.
When I moved to Jackson, I was hungry for something more. I wanted to make more of a community impact. People are coming from all across the world to see our beautiful Tetons. Everyone's grabbing lunch. That creates a lot of waste. So I started thinking about the catering business to reduce the tourism footprint. I get to do the activities that I love every day. Nature and extreme sports and skiing. That is the ultimate reason why I live right here in Jackson, Wyoming.
Yeah, head up, body out.
We have a ton of professional athletes in Jackson, Wyoming. It's kind of a hub for that sort of thing. I could make more money as a photographer if I moved to LA or New York, but then I don't get to live here.
In today's new economy, young professionals aren't just clocking in. They're hustling, dreaming, and transforming industries city by city. We went across the country to find out how they're making it work, all in pursuit of an American paycheck.
And we're just gonna stop right up here real quick. It's a little black bear. Do you guys see it? Yep, I saw its ear flap. Yeah, it's right there. This is pretty awesome to get to see a black bear this close, guys. I'm constantly amazed by the natural world. You can tell it's a black bear and not a grizzly bear because it doesn't have a large hump on the shoulder. It's back there. Do you see it through the trees? I've been guiding for about 10 years now. I worked for a larger company for 7 years. They didn't care about why it's important to conserve open space. They just wanted to fill seats and make money. I decided to start my own thing with an ethic of conservation. We can read kind of right off the bat. Are you interested in the science? Do you want to know how old the Tetons are? Or do you want some bad jokes? So you guys cannot touch any animal poop in the park. Did you know that? It's protected under the Endangered Feces Act. This is the home base for Guides of Jackson Hole. We're running this out of my family property here in East Jackson. When I decided to start my own company, I kept my full-time other job, took a huge risk, put all my money, my personal money, on the line. My friend Lida designed the logo. It's a grizzly bear with 6 different species of flowers, some of my favorite species. Our company grew really quickly because of that boom in tourism. We're growing, but try to keep our overhead really, really low. The major costs, like a $50,000 luxury SUV, top of the line binoculars, sleeping bags. I live myself very frugally. If I was trying to make money, I'd be in a different field besides wildlife ecology. All right, let's get going. I'm doing this to contribute to the preservation of this wildlife that's on the brink of extinction.
What do I want? I want herbs, this, and this. We're at Teton Lunch Counter. I'm the founder and chef. We provide day lunches for guides and outfitters here in Teton County. All of our lunches are packed in a reusable stainless steel container. There's essentially zero waste with all of these lunches that we put out the door. I was so confident that this was such a need in our community. I pulled the trigger very quickly. I self-funded the entire project, used all of my savings, and went for it. My first summer season was 8 clients. The reputation of Teton Lunch Counter exploded, and many guides and outfitters had reached out and asked for our services. I had a kitchen space that was about a 100 square foot room. So finding a new kitchen space was a must. There weren't very many kitchen opportunities. Almost everybody said no for almost 6 months, and I was kind of myself. Finally, I found the new kitchen, which meant I would take on new clients, and that's what we did. I'm heading out. There's something really nice about being a small local business. I don't want to get too big that I start to lose control or things slip. Oh yeah. Where I would like to have an impact in terms of scale is to just be here for the foreseeable future. My two highest costs, where in a food business you would think was food, are wages and my rent. And that's just the reality that we live in here in Jackson. There are other avenues in which I can make lunch counter more profitable, and one of those being opening a storefront, which we'll do in May of next year. Where I am fulfilled is I'm doing something good for my community. That feels really good.
Hey, you look like you're sending.
Jackson, Wyoming. It's kind of a hub for outdoor adventure sport photography.
You ready for the rope to come down?
Go for it.
I started out as a hobbyist, documenting my adventures, learning about how cameras worked. There were like 1 to 2 years where I would go out with whoever I could just to build a portfolio. The first time I got paid, I was definitely doing work for way too little, as most people typically do. But yeah, it was pretty thrilling and exciting to see that someone valued my photos at all. It became more steady after 3 years. Sometimes you only have one chance to nail a shot. The skier is only going to jump off of the 80-foot cliff one time. There's a lot of pressure to get it right, so it's really rewarding when you do. Gear is definitely an investment. Once you've got it, lasts a long time though, is usually pretty reliable. Going through periods of dry spells is just kind of part of it. You'll go a couple weeks or something without any inquiries and you're like, oh my God, no one wants me. I'm washed up. I should get a job at the Maverick. And then all of a sudden they all come pouring in. And that's just kind of how it goes. My husband and I, we are pretty lucky we got a spot here in town. There's something here called the Affordable Housing Trust. They allow people who live and work in this community full time to buy a house at a very affordable rate. It is very expensive here. So if you can figure out a way in and make it work, then you're one of the lucky ones.
What's amazing about the town of Jackson is that we are 97% public land. And that's one of the reasons it's so expensive here, is because there's nowhere else to build. Teton County, Wyoming is the wealthiest county in the United States.
It's the place where the billionaires are pushing out the millionaires. Not only is the cost of living really high, it's also really rare. Housing is rare.
It's a hard place to make a living, and it's just getting harder each and every day. There's also a really good community of people that do decide to stay here and make it work. I've lived in various places across the country, and nowhere has my quality of life been as good as it is here.
Trail runs right out your front door and big mountains to climb. All those things that I love to photograph, I also love to do. Getting to make work out of a day in the mountains is pretty special.
It feels really good knowing that all this hard work that I'm doing is for my community. At the end of the day, it's not about me and my personal finances. It's about how can I make a personal difference.
I feel like I and my guides are an advocate for this place. It's magical, you know, there's something spiritual about being with nature.
The community members that live here, they're really committed to the future. They're really committed to protecting the land. They understand the impact that they make on the environment. And I really hope that when people come to the Tetons, they think, wow, this is the Teton way. I hope that it's inspiring. Whoa! Cut that out. You guys made me nervous, so I just made a whole circle around the kitchen for no reason.